I think the focus of this conversation is about why thought leadership is so powerful and what it actually creates, what it delivers. Up until now, we've thought that we need to be creators. We need to be the creator of content. The number of entrepreneurs I've heard moaning about, content creation, they want to outsource it. Stop right there, guys. Stop right there. Are you a professional perfectionist?
What's your plan right now? And is it actually taking you to where you want to go?
%64% of buyers say thought leadership is more effective at building credibility than traditional marketing. And 48% of decision makers say thought leadership directly influenced their buying decision. What does this say about thought leadership?
And is traditional marketing dead? The question us marketers do not want to discuss or think about too much, but it's really, really important. And I think there's so much going on right now that we've been talking about, between us and other groups of people I've been talking to about what's going on right now, the things that are exploding, the topics that we're discussing, and it's centering around real thought leadership. I mean, one, you cannot, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to have seen by now, is the big debate between Daniel Priestley and Gary Stevenson on Diary of a CEO. It is one that must be watched. It's absolutely phenomenal, no matter what side you're on, and maybe you see both sides, where I think a lot of people did. You have to talk about it. But why has that been so effective and so much a topic of discussion between everyone? I've seen everyone talking about it in all different spaces, and I think it's incredible that we're having these conversations right now.
Yes. And what I love about the way Daniel Priestley plays, and there's so much to unpack about that debate, and we could, and I think the focus of this conversation is about why thought leadership is so powerful and what it actually creates, what it delivers. Up until now, we've thought that we need to be creators. We need to be the creator of content. The number of entrepreneurs I've heard moaning about, content creation, they want to outsource it. Stop right there, guys. Stop right there. This isn't about creating content. It's about having an opinion that you're willing to stand by. It's about standing for something or standing against something. Just stand and be firm and have an opinion and share your opinion.
Now, I'll be the first to admit that that is a really hard thing to do. I absolutely identify as an introvert. I identify as someone who's not loved public speaking, not loved particularly sticking my neck out, not loved particularly bringing on hate, not dealt well with conflict. I know all these things. I've had all these things. I've felt all that uncomfortability in my life, certainly in my career, and I know how hard it is. So I'm not going to be like, yes, we should all take a stand and get out there and, go after the haters and all that, because I know that that's a really hard thing. Like, that is not something that everybody wants to do. And I totally get that. And maybe not everybody needs to. However, when you look at the power of that and the impact of that, you kind of can't ignore it, the value of it. And it's been really fascinating. And I'm definitely someone that I love to sort of watch what happens, in the world in marketing and among these thought leaders and big players in the world. And I'm seeing it play out, especially with this debate on both sides, the amount of conversation it has just brought up. And then I'm also seeing the amount of people creating content around this debate. So it's not just the debaters themselves who've created a lot of buzz and talk, but all the other people who play in similar spaces that are also using it as in their own way, in their own thought leadership way, to share their opinions. And that I find really fascinating and valuable for them. And I think that's the part that people need to see. It's like you don't always have to be the one that sticks your neck out first, but can you talk about your side of or your opinion on somebody else's thought leadership? Because that's a little bit easier and maybe a little stepping stone to being the one out there yourself. What do you think about that, Vicky?
Yeah, I love that. And of course, I mean, being a thought leader doesn't mean you need to be a world leading celebrity. You don't need to be the Daniel Priestley to be a thought leader. In fact, I believe that we're always a leader in our world, in our community, whether it's in your family, in your business, in your circle of friends, in the mastermind group you're part of. You're a leader, whether you know it or not. So what kind of leader do you want to be? Be a thought leader and share an opinion on something, on what someone else has said, not just for the sake of making noise, not just for the sake of being objectionable, or the person who is the spoke in the wheel. What, that's not the expression. The one that disrupts, not just for the sake of disruption. Let it be a genuine, authentic opinion.
Yeah. I think an important piece of that, what you just said, is that people need to be okay that it's in your own niche. Like, so you can just speak from your own point of view within your own niche. So what do you know deeply about? If you're a lawyer, what's the legal side of things? If you're a doctor, what's the medical interpretation of something? Or whatever it is that you are specifically knowledgeable about, just take it from that piece. Because another one recently everybody's buzzing about is the movie on Netflix, or it's actually a series on Netflix called Adolescence. We talked about that. Like, it's super powerful. Vicky's yet to see it. She's going to go watch it right after this conversation, I'm sure. But there's so many, what I've noticed that's fascinating is the amount of people that have made a response to it from their particular niche. Like, I saw a psychologist give an analysis of how the psychologist in the series did what she did, because she saw some hate against the psychologist and people were asking questions. Well, why did she ask that question? And why did she say this? And why did she do that? So she gave her response to those remarks, which I thought fascinating. And, if I was looking for a psychologist, she might be high on the list of people I'm looking for, because she shared her opinion on something in such a clear, concise, interesting way. I was like, wow, that's incredible. And then, I saw somebody else come at it from the legal standpoint, because he was a lawyer and he was explaining why the lawyer said what he said and did what he did and went after the things he did wrong and the things he did right. And I thought fascinating to review the whole series through the eyes of a lawyer and what worked and what didn't. I thought, genius, because now he's a lawyer who's raised his profile. And these people all jumped on it like so soon after the thing was released and the buzz was really building and growing. And now at the top of all my YouTube feed are all these people sharing their perspectives of this now super hot series that everyone's buzzing about. It was genius. None of it was highly polished. That's got to be really said too. It was not highly published, super well done. And some of them were apologizing because we couldn't get proper screen grabs. And it's like, doesn't even matter. People were so interested and wanted to unpack this series that it was like everyone just wanted the next thing. So the algorithm was doing its thing, and all these people would quickly put their piece out there, their content out there. It was showing right at the top of feeds. And I can imagine, I haven't analyzed it yet, but I can imagine all their follower accounts went up and all of their stock just went up within their niche.
Yeah. And you raise such an important point, in that the opinion must be informed, right? You must stay in your lane. Don't let it be a gossip fest. Don't let it be, I hate Daniel because he doesn't understand what it's like to be poor. Let's not get personal about our opinions. That's a whole different game we're seeing in other parts of the world that doesn't progress anybody anywhere. So the informed opinion, the professional opinion, sharing where you're at and offering the next level of insight, like you've just described, Laura, the psychologist and the lawyer. Right? Yeah. And yes, by the very nature of that, they're boosting their profile, which is what we support entrepreneurs to do, to boost your profile. There's so many different ways to do it. And you might think, well, that's a bit calculated. You're jumping on the coattails of somebody else. But the point is that people are searching for credibility in this market. it's a noisy market. Everywhere you look, hear, see, there's advertising. There's someone pushing something at you. And you and I, Laura, we're big proponents of relationship marketing, of attraction marketing, of helping people just understand who you are primarily, how you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And sharing an opinion like this is a way to help others to cut through the noise, to help them not be confused about something. You're sharing information and guidance. It's guidance. So that's the difference between opinion and guidance. I've just worked that out now.
Yeah, because opinions are great to have around a dinner table, but when you really are looking to raise your profile as a leader in your industry, whatever industry that is, raising up as a thought leader is kind of key. And there's lots of ways to do it. There's lots of platforms to use. Of course, there's social media. That's the first one everyone's going to jump to. And if you use it as a platform, and Vicky and I talked about like how some people say they hate social media. They don't want to be on social media. They don't want to be a content creator. They don't want to put their phone in their face and, act all fake and all that stuff. We hear all this stuff all the time. But it's just a platform. It's just a way to get your message across. We choose to use podcasting as our platform because we find this long form works really well for us. And then we cut it up into smaller clips so that we can then share on social media. And that's how we create our content. So there's lots of different ways to do it. Like, you're just not locked into one way. You don't have to do things the way other people do them. You got to find the lane that works for you. And when you find that, there's just something so magical in that for you and your business. Because people trust people, people work with people. That's exactly what relationship marketing is. We don't have a relationship with the brand as much as we have a relationship with the people behind the brand. And that's the thing that's got to sink in. Like, the people, brands, if you look at any social media, right? So go on Instagram right now, look up your favorite brand, and then look up whoever the leader of that brand is. I guarantee you the leader has more followers than the brand does. But the money, their marketing budget's all going into their brand account, ironically. But the leader's the one that people want to follow. Why? Because they're somebody you can connect with. And people always want connection. Even though in this age of AI, I think connection is going to become more important than ever. I think authenticity is going to become more important than ever. And we're all going to be questioning, who do we trust and who do we not? What's real and what's fake? This is going to be a question for a long time as things evolve. And we're going to want to connect with real people. Therefore, I believe authenticity is going to be really key. Being natural, being real, and sharing your true, honest opinions, stepping out of that comfort zone and going to the next level is going to be really key for a lot of business leaders. And all of you entrepreneurs out there, you are business leaders. You are knowledgeable about your niche. That's why you're in that niche. That's why you work with those clients that you work with, because you know their pain, you understand what they need, and you can use your platform to help. And I think there's so much in that, so much value.
Yeah. And I'd love to just share a tip, a mindset tip, for people who do find it difficult to talk into a camera or go live on a platform. And you talk about the social media as a platform. I see it as the highway. Do you know? You wouldn't be in a little rickety old car and blame the highway for an uncomfortable ride, right? You wouldn't. You'd be looking at the car and going, why is this ride uncomfortable? So the point is, the social media is the platform, it's the highway. You choose what car you're driving, which in this analogy is your messaging, is the content you're creating. You choose what you're going to say. And so the mindset shift I'd love to offer our viewers is that whenever we feel like, oh, this might attract hate, or you're concerned about any impact of you sharing your views, your professional view on something, it's because you're in your head. Now, as soon as you take you out of the equation and remember that you're in this business for the people you serve, and know that when you put that phone up or you go live on a podcast, it's because you want to help the person you serve. As soon as we remember why we're doing it and that we're here to share, guide, inform, support, serve the people who do business with us, our ideal client, then the rest really doesn't matter, does it? Because it's about them. It's not about you.
I love that. Yep. When you get out of your own way and realize that you're here to serve others and not just make money or do whatever you do your business does, when you just get into the service mindset, and when I say service, I don't mean having a service-based business. You could have a product-based business, but if your product serves people in some way, if you're any way your business serves people, like when you just focus on the people, focus on those you can help, and keep giving them as much as you possibly can give over and over again. I believe so strongly in the law of the law of reciprocity. It's a hard one to say. I believe so strongly in the law of reciprocity that I know that it makes such a big difference, and it always comes back. It always comes back. It comes back tenfold. It might come back today or tomorrow or next year. It might come back in 5 years because it's happened for us. We know this is true. So, but you always got to be in a place of service to others, and it makes a massive difference for your business. So that's it. That's what being a thought leader is. Serving the people that you want to help ultimately with whatever niche that you are in. How can you be of service? How can you share something knowledgeable for them? How can you put yourself out there so they get to know, like, and trust you? It's only going to do great things for your business and build it. And that's exactly the type of people we want to surround ourselves with. We are the Resilient Entrepreneurs Academy for a reason. We're building tools and resources and spaces and coaching and training and education and all of it for resilient entrepreneurs like you who are out there trying to figure this thing out, trying to step into these spaces. We want you to lean in. We want you to be thought leaders. We want you to raise your profile, raise your status so that you can help more people, because at the end of the day is the name of the game.